Hey guys, welcome back. As promised, this is our spoiler review of Shazam Fury of the Gods. As we said in our previous review, this movie just wasn't great. It wasn't good. It was pretty generic. But that being said, there are still some good things about this movie. I did enjoy the acting of Zachary Levi and a lot of the cast. I didn't have any issues with their acting. I just wish that they took some more time to develop the villains a little bit better. I think that when they're talking about the realm of the gods, that we got a flashback seeing the realm of the gods, seeing it in its full glory, and then seeing the wizards take it away. Because I think that would have been so much more impactful than them reading from a book. We would have been made to care about these characters because we didn't really care about the villains, even though they were right. The humans and the wizards took away their powers and their homeland. They should take the seed to go restore it. That makes total sense. But we still just didn't care about their characters because we weren't made to feel about it because all this time went to Billy and his family when he should have also been developing the villain.
Yeah, this movie sucked. It wasn't great. And it's been kind of a trend. So I was telling Griff yesterday, unfortunately, I've only seen two movies thus far. I know it's very early on, but I've only seen two movies this year that I felt were good enough. But I've also haven't seen that one movie this year that has made me say, oh, I need to go back and watch that again for a second time. I haven't seen that yet. So this one is everything that Griff just said. The villains, although one solid actress and one very, very good actress, I just didn't care. I just with all that stuff she was talking about, as Griff said, maybe a flashback, all right, would have made me care. But the whole time it's just a big CG fest. It's popcorn movie that didn't quite, stick the landing. I will talk about some of the stuff that I did like. So like Griff, I did like the cast. I did like Zachary. I did like Megan Good, and I can't remember the other kids' names, but they were all great. I liked the parents, the mom and the dad. I like Helen Mirren. I always like Helen Mirren. I think she's phenomenal. I still can't believe they got her. And Lucy Liu, I mean, she's it's like this woman was born to play villains. But I just never was made to care. I wanted to care. I wanted to be invested in it. I wanted to be like, okay, but I just said it in my other review, our other review. I was like hour and a half in. I was like, all right, you can wrap this shit up. And as Griff said, he brought it up. I almost forgot the fucking skittleness of this movie. The movie threw it in my face for 2 hours and 10 minutes. And the end credit scenes to me, they were just okay.
They're useless because we know it's ending, so I really couldn't get excited about it. There's just so many unanswered questions that it's hard to get excited about what happens next. Because the future of Shazam may have been depending on this movie. We don't know what's going to happen afterwards.
If this movie does crazy box office numbers, I'm sure James Gunn will figure out a way to work Zachary Levi into his DCU. Look, James Gunn didn't get hired for him to fuck up again. So I'm sure him and Peter are like, well, let's wait till Monday and see the numbers. If this movie just did okay or did fucking Black Adam numbers, it's done. It's fucking it's out the door. There's not a scenario in my mind where I'm like, yeah, they're gonna give it another shot. No, why roll the dice on something that clearly didn't make you the money you needed to make? These movies, you guys got to understand between, and let's not even talk about what the actors are paid. The advertisement for these movies is fucking ridiculous. You got to
Yeah,
remember they advertise worldwide, and that shit's expensive.
but this one
I
they
don't
kind of
know.
gave up during. They didn't really advertise this movie at all.
No, because that's right when they were in between this whole, craziness of, DC being it was going to go a very different direction. Remember, with Walter Hamada and like a horror kind of genre type thing, and that didn't happen. So it's suffered what every DC movie prior to it has suffered from. Fucking lack of leadership over there. People running around with their fucking heads cut off, not knowing what they want. We're being told that Peter Safran and James Gunn now have a vision. we'll see where that goes. But if this movie didn't make, I don't know, what do you say, $800 million? I don't think we're seeing anymore.
And just some other things with this movie is Billy's death. I was shocked that they actually killed him, and I was very happy that they actually did that, that they took that chance. While everything is in flux, you do have the chance to kill off characters however you want, and they could still come back with the reboot. They could have done that here, but instead of having a meaningful death like it was and how it felt, they just sacrificed it for a cheap cameo. And that really frustrated me because we got something new in the superhero genre because let's face it, it can be a bit repetitive. And in this pretty repetitive generic movie, this was something new.
I'm of two minds of the cameo. So I was really happy to see, Gal. Where she appeared, I was like, I mean, you could have appeared any other place. And I really thought he was fucking dead.
I was really hoping he was dead.
Like I legitimately I was hurt. I was like, oh shit. The one part of the movie where I gave a fuck was that. That's the only part that, because you know what? Griff just said it. It was groundbreaking. I was like, holy shit, they fucking just killed off their lead. They just killed him off. Like we had a funeral scene. Like he was buried. So I was like, oh man, they pulled a Tony Stark on us. And then he's resurrected. And I'm like, and again, I say this with my hand in my heart. You guys know I love Gal Gadot. I think she's one, if not the most beautiful woman on earth. And I love her as Wonder Woman. But the only part of the movie where I gave a shit, you crapped on it. And she didn't crap on it. It was whoever made the decision to put her in that scene is who crapped on it.
I get that they were leading up to her throughout this entire movie, but just for that, that was so lame.
Had she shown up to mourn a fallen hero
That
and
would have been
just,
better.
and just been there to support the rest, I would have been okay with. And I know there's gonna be guys and be like, "What the fuck? You actually wanted Shazam to die?" I didn't want him to die. I didn't make that call. They made that call. But I'm a big hater of killing someone off to bring their ass back.
Yeah.
It just, I'm like, why? You made me suffer a little bit. You made me care, and now it's pointless. This is why Griff and I have had extensive conversations about the Rise of Skywalker, whatever the fuck that movie's called. Or, this is why we don't want Cap or Iron Man to come back. We get Elseworld, okay. I cared when Tony snapped his fingers. If you bring him back, it's like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I guess it didn't really matter, you know? I guess
Yeah.
anyone can fucking die. And at that point, then it just becomes like, okay, so I'm watching a movie and someone dies. It's not gonna have any weight to it because you're gonna bring their ass back. You're gonna find a way to bring them back. And at that point, it's just like, and even Ryan Reynolds is smart enough to say that his Wolverine is not the Logan's Wolverine because no one wants that fucked with. Here, he dies and full blown Jesus Christ resurrected, which, I don't want to blaspheme, but I just was like, I didn't even get time to like, let it sink in that he had died. And then all of a sudden, oh, she shows up and he comes out of the grave. He literally fucking comes out of the grave and is goofy as hell. And
It
I'm
was
like,
just really cheap.
I wonder who made that fucking call.
I don't know. It it was so lame. And then one other thing I didn't like is that, like everyone else, at the end of Shazam 1, I thought we were getting Mr. Mind for the sequel.
Yeah,
Okay, we didn't get him, that's fine. But then why would you set him up again in the after credits of this movie? I get, sure, he's a caterpillar, like he said, it takes long to move.
I thought that's who we were gonna get in this movie,
Yeah,
not
same
these
here. Like
bitches.
until we get the Daughters of Atlas. But why are you setting up again? It's come and gone. It doesn't matter as much anymore. And now we're just never gonna get him because of the reboot.
I don't know, wishful thinking. I don't know. I have no fucking idea. And this movie, it shouldn't, but it makes me very worried, or at the very least, Griff and I had a conversation yesterday where my expectations were they're always high for some fucking reason. They're very low for the Flash. Like if the Flash is a piece of shit, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm gonna walk out of there saying, well, makes sense. because of this.
My expectations were so low for this movie. So I think that's why I did enjoy it a bit more than Edwards, just because my expectations were so much lower. But it still wasn't a great movie. And like I said before, it did break several of its own rules, and it broke canon of the first movie. Well, it broke the rules of the first movie with the magic staff, because that it doesn't really make sense with how Savannah used it, and then now they introduce all these new powers that the staff had. That when Savannah hit Shazam in the first movie, Billy should have lost his powers, 100%. And not to
Yeah,
mention,
I agree.
Savannah should have had a lot more powers than just the Shazam powers. That should have been something that should have been alluded to in the first one, but that's kind of what happens when what Edward said when you have a bunch of different visions colliding. This movie was made and written after the success of the first one and was not planned. And so it ended up breaking so many rules.
Honestly, this comes from the heart. If you guys can wait to stream this shit at home and save money on gas, movie tickets, and if you're anything like me and when you go to the movies you hit up the snack bar, trust me, man. Order a pizza and watch it at home.
Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this movie. We'll see you guys next time.
Take care, guys. And if you do make the venture to the movies and you end up thinking it's a piece of crap, remember, we suggested for you to stream it.